Welcome to the Scrapbooking for Beginners series. Since you clicked on this video, I can assume you are researching how to start scrapbooking as your new craft. So in this video, I will be giving 5 steps on how to get started, and this will include the simple tools you'll need. For the last step, I will share a very easy way you can get started to scrapbook that will reduce stress and hassle. Now let's jump in. Your first step on your scrapbook journey is to choose the style of scrapbooking you would like to do. So right here I have an example where there's only one photo and the focus is more about the embellishments, or many people like scrapbooking because they really like the paper crafts you can create. There are so many ways to decorate your pages, so if you're more about the embellishing and decorating and the paper crafting and you only are determined to put 1 or 2 photos in your layout, that may be the best style for you. The second style that I have right here is the pocket page scrapbook. This is a pretty simple idea, but there are many scrapbooking companies that sell paper that you can cut and put them into the pockets. Pocket scrapbooking is great if you're not as interested or don't feel like you have time to craft a whole page, but you want to put your photos in a scrapbook and have some decorative elements to it. This is a pretty simple and easy way to scrapbook and store your memories. Also, if you're not as determined to be crafty with your pages, the pocket page may be a good style for you. Style number 3 is photo focused scrapbooking. So instead of being focused on paper crafts and embellishments, you're really trying to make pages that fit multiple photos on your layout. That doesn't mean you can't use any embellishments, but the purpose of these pages is that you're basically creating collages of your photos and making that the primary focus of your scrapbooking. What I recommend is going to a resource like Pinterest, which is very easy to pin and collect pages you like and see what styles you enjoy and what you think you would like to do. And of course, scrapbookers a lot of times will have multiple styles of scrapbook pages in their albums, but since you're getting started, I would say limit yourself to one and grow into other styles if you want to add on later. Step number 2 is to choose the scrapbook album size you would like to do. So over time you may want to try different sizes, but I would say as a beginner, just choose one and do that size for right now. In this video, I'm going to show 3 common sizes. The one I'm holding right now is 8 by 8. And of course, since it is smaller, you're not going to be able to fit quite as much stuff, but you are able to complete the pages faster because it is a small size. The next size is 8.5 by 11. This is another common size. You're going to be able to fit a little bit more than the 8 by 8, and it's not huge, so you can get these pages done fairly quickly. A lot of people like using this size. And the last size I'm going to show here is the 12 by 12. This is going to be the most common size scrapbookers use. So because of that, you're going to be able to find more albums that are 12 by 12 a lot easier than the smaller sizes. You can also fit a lot more. Here you can see I have a lot more photos, or you can add a lot more embellishments because you have a much bigger sheet, saying that it's going to take you a little bit longer to fill a 12 by 12 than the other 2. Those are things to consider, is how much time do you want to take on a page, and also you need to consider that the smaller sizes are going to be harder to find than the 12 by 12. So I recommend researching different sizes and which ones you think fit you the best. Step number 3 is to gather the tools. So all of the tools I'm listing in this video, you generally will need no matter what style of scrapbooking you plan to do. What you need is a cutting mat, and you want to make sure there's lines. I recommend getting one with 1/8 inch lines, plus you want to make sure it says it's self-healing so it doesn't look like it's cut up quite as easily. You will also need a cutting tool such as an X-Acto knife. This one is from Fiskars and has a very nice grip. Some people like to use a rotary knife, and some people even use a paper trimmer. With the paper trimmer, you're just going to have to double check your measurements very carefully. I also recommend getting a ruler. This ruler is metal, so it won't scratch up as easily, and it has a cork back. The cork back is helpful so your ruler doesn't slip around as easily. Obviously, there's plastic rulers out there, but I find it helpful to use a metal ruler. All right, another tool you may already have is scissors, although I do recommend getting a nice pair of crafting scissors. This one is from Fiskars. They're a pretty good brand for cutting items. The other item you need is some type of adhesive. Now I have a glue dispenser here. There's different types of glues. So as a beginner, what you want to look for is glue that comes in a dispenser and it has these little dots. I hope you can see the little dots. And you want to look for what's called repositionable. So when you start looking at glues, there's permanent glue and repositionable. And as a beginner, it's really important to get repositionable, especially if you're not comfortable just gluing things down. Saying that, it may be nice to have permanent on the side in case you have some bigger embellishments. But make sure you look for glue with the dots. Avoid liquid glue for right now. So the glue dispenser I just showed is from Herma Dotto. That's just one brand and there are many others. So look for glue dots that are repositionable. You will also need cardstock. You definitely need some sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock or whatever size album you're doing. So you need some sheets for your background. Plus you need to start gathering some cardstock. Here I just made it pretty easy by having white, gray, and I think the third one's just a sandy color. You can just gather some neutrals from right now, and you may even want to look into multicolored cardstock packs so you have multiple colors on hand. I also recommend grabbing a pen. This one's the Zig Memory Writer. It's a really good quality black pen, so that's what I would look for. Look for an acid-free pen, and you will just need a pencil and eraser. A really good quality eraser, so erases really well. So when you write things down, you can write in pencil first and then write with the black marker or pen on top of that writing. So this last one is not a tool exactly, but it is important for you to have an album to store your pages in. There are many different types of albums, but as a beginner, I highly recommend getting an album that's a 3-ring binder style because it's so much easier, and the page protectors, it's easy to slip in and slip out the pages, especially when you're a beginner. You don't necessarily want an album that's going to be permanent and hard to get the pages out. And over time, you can start collecting those. But I think as a beginner, this type of album is going to be very easy. This album is from We Are Memory Keepers. So that's one brand of album you can look into. And that will be so much easier for you. Step number 4 is to start taking lots of photos. So you may already have a lot of photos in storage you are planning to use, but part of the fun of scrapbooking is taking more photos of your loved ones and your trips and your pets, whatever you want to scrapbook. It is so much fun to get out there and take lots of photos so that way you can start adding them to your scrapbook pages and be able to look back on all of the amazing memories you have made throughout the years. All right, step number 5 is our final step, and it is sort of a bonus step that is optional. You do not have to use these to get started, but I do recommend trying out scrapbook kits. Many companies use them. In this video, I'm showing the ones we make here at Mosaic Moments. So scrapbook kits generally won't have the tools that I listed earlier, so you'll need to collect those separately. But what's great about kits is that they generally have all the paper and embellishments you need to create a layout. This is a great way to, first of all, make it less stressful. You don't have to go and buy all these different paper collections and embellishments. You can just buy the kit just to get started and get familiar with the different styles and learn how to actually sit down and scrapbook. So this is the number one way I can say if you are still feeling a little bit stressed and overwhelmed, definitely go ahead, get some scrapbook kits so that way you can ease yourself into this craft with less worry and become familiar with the different tools you're going to be using and the different styles you want to create and which ones you want to continue to create. Alright, I hope that this video helped you feel a little more confident in getting started with scrapbooking, and I will have the tools listed in the description below this video. If you would like, I have 3 more videos in this series. The first one, I will be showing you how to put together this kit and show how easy creating page kits are for getting started. My next video, I will be talking about how you can use the simple tools I listed earlier to create a simple layout to help you get started. And if you have been wondering about the scrapbook dies, I do have a video introducing beginners to that as well. So go ahead and check out the next video you want to see. And thank you so much for watching.